Have you ever been driving along, minding your own business, when suddenly you see those flashing lights in your rearview mirror? It can be a nerve-wracking experience, to say the least. We want to help you know your rights and feel confident when you get pulled over. We will also tell you what to do and what not to do in those circumstances. So, whether you're a new driver or a seasoned pro, stick around and learn some valuable information that could come in handy one day. Hi everyone, and welcome to Legal Every Day. Our channel is all about making the law accessible and easy to understand, no matter who you are or where you come from. Whether you're a law student, a legal professional, or simply someone who's curious about how the legal system works, we're here to help. From everyday situations like traffic stops to more complex legal issues, we've got you covered. So if you're ready to dive in and learn more about the law, you're in the right place. Make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss an episode. Thanks for joining us on this legal journey, and let's get started. I remember the first time I got pulled over. I was in college, driving back from a late-night study session, and I got pulled over for a broken taillight. I was so nervous that my hands were shaking, and I had no idea what my rights were or what to expect. I wondered, am I in trouble? What do I need to do? Can I ask the officer questions? Am I free to leave? What if I get arrested? It turned out fine in the end, but the experience stuck with me. If you find yourself in this situation, here are your rights. 1. Remain silent. One of your most important rights is the right to remain silent. This means that you do not have to answer any questions that the police ask you. The right to remain silent is protected by the Fifth Amendment to the United States Constitution. This amendment states that no person shall be compelled in any criminal case to be a witness against himself. This is an important right because anything you say can be used against you in court. Even if you're innocent, it's possible to accidentally say something that could incriminate you or make your situation worse. Exercising your right to remain silent can help you protect your rights and can help you avoid being arrested. So when can you exercise your right to remain silent? You can do it at any time during your interaction with the police, even if you've already answered some questions. If you want to exercise your right to remain silent, simply tell the police officer that you do not want to answer any questions. You do not have to explain why you do not want to answer questions. If you're placed under arrest, the police are required to inform you of your right to remain silent. This is known as the Miranda warning. However, you don't have to wait for the police to give you the warning to exercise your right to remain silent. You can do it at any time. It's important to note that remaining silent doesn't mean you're being uncooperative or obstructing justice. You can still provide the police with identifying information like your name and address. But beyond that, you have the right to remain silent and not incriminate yourself. 2. An attorney. When you're pulled over by the police, especially if placed under arrest, you have the right to an attorney. This means that you can have a lawyer present with you during any questioning or other interactions with the police. It's important to know this right and to exercise it if necessary. The right to an attorney is protected by the Sixth Amendment to the United States Constitution. This amendment states that in all criminal prosecutions, the accused shall enjoy the right to have the assistance of counsel for his defense. This means that you have the right to have an attorney present with you at any point during the legal process, from questioning to trial. So when should you exercise your right to an attorney? The answer is simple: as soon as possible. If you're being detained or arrested, you should ask to speak to an attorney right away. You can do this by saying something like, "I want to speak to a lawyer," or "I'm exercising my right to an attorney." You do not have to explain why you want to speak to a lawyer. If you can't afford an attorney, one will be provided for you. This is known as a public defender, and they will be assigned to you by the court if you request one. Public defenders are licensed attorneys who are paid by the government to represent individuals who can't afford to hire their own lawyer. It's important to remember that the police are not required to stop questioning you just because you've requested an attorney. However, if you have an attorney present, the attorney can advise you on how to answer questions and protect your rights. They can also ensure that the police don't ask you any questions that violate your rights. If you're ever in a situation where you're being questioned by the police or arrested, remember your right to an attorney. Don't be afraid to exercise this right and ask for a lawyer. It's one of the most important rights you have, and it can make a big difference in the outcome of your case. 3. Ask why you got pulled over. When you are pulled over by the police, you have the right to ask why you were stopped. This is important because it allows you to understand the reason for the stop and to cooperate with the officer's investigation. If you're pulled over by the police, the first thing they'll typically do is ask for your driver's license and registration. After that, they may ask you some questions or explain why they stopped you. If they don't explain why you were stopped, you have the right to ask. To exercise your right to ask why you got pulled over, simply say something like, "Can you tell me why you pulled me over?" or "What's the reason for the stop?" The police officer is required to provide you with a reason for the stop, and they should be able to explain it to you in a clear and concise manner. Here are the common reasons why the police would pull you over. Traffic violations. This is the most common reason for a traffic stop. If you're breaking traffic laws, such as speeding, running a red light, or not wearing a seatbelt, the police can pull you over. Equipment violations. The police can pull you over if they notice that your car has a broken headlight, a missing license plate, or any other equipment violation. Suspicion of criminal activity. If the police have reason to believe that you're involved in criminal activity, they can pull you over to investigate further. DUI or DWI. If the police suspect that you're driving under the influence of drugs or alcohol, they can pull you over and administer a breathalyzer test or other sobriety tests. Warrant service. If the police have a warrant for your arrest, they can pull you over to arrest you. If the police officer can't provide a reason for the stop, or if the reason doesn't seem legitimate, you may want to contact an attorney. It's important to remember that asking why you got pulled over is not the same as arguing with the police or challenging their authority. It's simply a way to ensure that your rights are being respected and that the police are following the law. If you feel that your rights have been violated, you may want to contact an attorney to discuss your options. 4. Refuse a search. Another important right you have when pulled over by the police is the right to refuse an unjustified search. This means that you can say no if an officer asks to search you, your car, or your belongings. The Fourth Amendment to the United States Constitution protects you from unreasonable searches and seizures. This means that the police cannot search you or your belongings without a good reason. What is a good reason? A good reason for a search is probable cause or a warrant. Probable cause means that a normal person would believe that you have committed a crime or that you are in possession of evidence of a crime, given the specific facts. If the police do not have probable cause, they cannot search you or your belongings without your consent or a warrant. In that circumstance, you have the right to refuse a search even if the police ask you nicely. If they ask to search you, you can simply say something like, "I do not consent to a search." Refusing a search does not mean you're guilty of anything. In fact, it's perfectly within your rights to refuse a search even if you have nothing to hide. That said, it's important to be polite and respectful when you do this. You don't want to escalate the situation or give the officer any reason to suspect you of wrongdoing. What if I consent to a search? Once you consent to a search, the police can search you or your belongings. However, if you change your mind and revoke your consent, the police must stop the search. 5. Record the interaction. Another important right you have when interacting with the police is the right to record the interaction. You have the right to use your phone or other device to record any interaction with a government official, including police officers, in public. This right is protected by the First Amendment, which guarantees the right to free speech and the right to gather information. Recording police interactions can help ensure that both you and the police are held accountable for your actions. However, there are some restrictions on this right. For example, you cannot interfere with the police or get in their way while recording, as this could be seen as obstructing their duties. It's also important to note that some states have specific laws about recording interactions with the police, so you should check the laws in your state before recording. In most cases, though, it's perfectly legal to record police interactions as long as you're not interfering with their duties. If you do choose to record, it's a good idea to do so from a safe distance and to be respectful and polite to the police. Recording police interactions can be a powerful tool for protecting your rights and ensuring that the police are held accountable for their actions. Just be sure to do so responsibly and within the limits of the law. Now that you know your rights, here is a quick reminder about what to do and not to do when pulled over by the police. First, when you see the police lights behind you, signal and pull over to a safe location as quickly as possible. Make sure to turn off your engine and keep your hands visible on the steering wheel. This will signal to the officer that you are not a threat and are willing to cooperate. Next, wait for the officer to approach your vehicle. Do not reach for anything until the officer asks you to do so. This is to avoid any misunderstandings or confusion that could lead to a dangerous situation. When the officer approaches, be polite and respectful. Address them as officer and follow their instructions. If they ask for your license, registration, and proof of insurance, provide them promptly. If you are not sure where your documents are located, let the officer know and ask for permission to retrieve them. If you are issued a ticket, do not argue with the officer. You have the right to contest the ticket in court, but arguing with the officer on the spot will not help your case. Simply take the ticket and move on. If the officer asks you to step out of the car, comply with their request. Stay calm and follow their instructions. Consider getting the officer's name and badge number. This information can be helpful if you need to file a complaint later. If you're under arrest, do not resist, touch the officer, or run away. Remember, the police are there to protect and serve the community. By following these simple steps and being respectful, you can help ensure a safe and positive interaction with law enforcement. Thanks for watching our video on what to do when pulled over by the police. We hope you found this information helpful and informative. Remember, knowing your rights and how to interact with law enforcement can help ensure a safe and positive experience. We encourage you to share your thoughts in the comments section below. Have you ever been pulled over? What was your experience like? Do you have any additional tips or suggestions? We'd love to hear from you. And if you found this video helpful, please don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel for more informative content. We appreciate your support and look forward to bringing you more helpful tips and insights. Oh, and did you hear about the police officer who stole a calendar? He got 12 months. Okay. Maybe that wasn't the best joke, but hopefully it brought a smile to your face. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.